magical. It was just me. We would talk about whatever. We'd talk about my dog. We'd talk about the flowers, the trees, or, we wonder if could we climb this tree, or something. It was just, what it was an experience of respect. They were feeling that I was interested in them for who they were. And because I would take the time to go for a walk with them. No one had ever gone, like those first boys I was talking about, Chucky and Scotty, nobody had ever done that with them. Because they were kind of hard to be around and people would avoid them. So just the fact that one adult would take the time to spend their morning with them was a tremendous sharing just in itself. We didn't have to talk philosophy. Philosophy usually destroys it. But it's just a matter of two souls being together and just appreciating that moment.
So did they open up themselves?
Yeah, different ways. They would just, like I remember Chucky, this one morning he'd come and he was just being horrible. He was just causing great commotion. And we talked, and I said, "What happened? Why were you that way?" He says, "My parents had thrown me out of the house that morning and didn't give me breakfast." And I was mad. And I said, "Oh, I understand." So on that level. I mean, they're still children, and they have a child's mind, but the feelings of harmony and respect can be there.
Then why don't you share the story of the two Bengali boys who are staying there in the community now? The twin brothers.
Yeah. Well, I was up in Oregon, which is a state north of California, and there were this mother. She was from Calcutta, and she had twin boys, identical twins, and they were 14 years old, I think, at the time when I met them. And they had come over from India, maybe, a year before or something. And the boys were going to the public high school in Portland, and they weren't doing very well. They were just, you could watch them, they just were kind of contracting. Their energy was getting narrow. The only thing they would talk about was basketball at that point. And they weren't interested in school, they weren't interested in America, they were just, it was just getting, and it was because they couldn't articulate it. It was because it didn't make any sense. The situation they'd been put in didn't make any sense to them, because a typical American high school is borderline crazy. It's all adolescent egos kind of unchained, and nobody's there to supervise it. So you have a lot of crazy stuff that happens, bullying, just gross things. And so they just didn't, why am I here? They were just pulling back. And so we started talking a little bit, and I got to know them. I thought, they actually have a lot of potential. There's a lot in there that they're not showing. And so I talked to the mother. I said, "Did you know that we have a high school down in California that the boys could go to?" And she said, "Wanted to know about Education for Life," and I started telling her, like I was telling you. She said, "Oh yeah, okay, I want to put them in." So she put the boys in the high school for the next 3 years, and it was I would see them every 6 months or so. I don't teach in the high school anymore. I retired from that part about 4 years ago. But they just blossomed. They were just like plants blossoming, because all of a sudden life made sense. That the teachers were responding them to as in real people. They had their peers were not just interested in drugs, sex, and alcohol, and the other things that most teenagers in America get caught in. And they became real leaders. Actually, they became real leaders in the school, and graduated in June, and going on with their lives in wonderful ways. So it was a really wonderful experience to see that very powerful thing. Any other questions?
Nitaiji, at present in India, especially the education is so competition oriented, means the child, especially in school level, is expected, he or she is expected to study only for the competition which is going to happen, means once he passes through the school. And children don't have time for all these value-based things. And there are many instances of children committing suicide because they can't cope up with the pressure of studies to compete in the coming exams, competitive exams. So what is the solution?
Well, you think you have to start on different levels. One level, I think I've started to see, actually, I was reading a newspaper article in India, where some of the businessmen were coming out and saying, these graduates that score so high on tests, we don't want them. We don't want them in our business because they don't have any creativity. They don't know how to work with people. They don't know how to work with problems. They're so narrow-minded. And if you can start to have that from the top, because that's one of the things that can help a lot. Because people think, oh, these businesses, they want only the people who get the top highest scores. But it just, that could be a start, one way to start. Then you just have to start looking. Maybe you have to do things after school, out of school, where you have programs that children could come to get some of these other trainings. We do have a program in Education for Life called Families for New Tomorrow. It's just families getting together. They get together one Sunday a month or something, and they do something special. We have a program that they can go through. So you can start in small ways. Parents can start. Parents can start by not following that, not supporting that. And you can do it on different levels. One of the things is there's this very interesting cartoon that captured the essence of this. There's a teacher sitting in front of a group of students, but the students are all animals. And one animal is a monkey, one's a cow, one's a donkey, one's, I forget, the bird or something like that. And he looks at the students and he says, okay, today our lesson is to see who can climb the tree fastest. And the monkey is all excited, of course, but the cow is all sad. and to see that's what we're doing with our children. We're saying, the one who can memorize facts, you're a good student. And if you don't have a good memory, forget it. You're a failure at 8 years old. So just giving the message to each child is a talent that's worthwhile, and the parent can at least respect that. You can look for teachers who, no matter, every school I've ever been in, there's been at least one or two really inspiring teachers. Even though the system is horrible, they somehow figure out how to work around it. So to look for those teachers and try to get your child connected to those teachers is another way that can happen. Then of course schools. I mean, Prisha is helping me find different schools in this area to visit in the next few days where they're just trying to do it in a different way. And so we'll be going around to visit those things. So you just have to start, because this is such a powerful hypnosis that people are caught in, you just have to start at the fringes. Where are the parts where I can start to make a little difference that way? Wouldn't hurt to help publicize some of these studies that are being done around the world that show that this one approach is so unhelpful, unhealthy. I think of it, it's very much like what we did in the United States with food in the 40s and 50s, where we just started to say the only thing important about food is does it look like tomatoes? Do they look really red? Are they big? Do they fit in the box nicely? And forgot about the nutrition underneath. And so then you got the whole organic food movement started, which now is very strong in the United States. So I think organic education is something that's also we're starting. It'll take a while, it's a big issue, but even one student can make a big difference by helping them see that no, it's not you that's the problem, it's the system that's the problem, and we just need to work around it. So, I could go into that more, but it's just, you're looking for ways where teachers can be encouraged to have these kind of relationships with the child. They're broad and deep, and however that can happen, even just a little bit, is going to be a step in the right direction. At some point we'll start our own Education for Life schools, but starting a school is a big challenge, and it takes a lot of work.
Tom, could you go through the core principles and the life skill action charts?
Oh, yeah, okay. I did learn that. So we've been working on developing these ideas, and I'm going to talk